Hello and welcome back! It is Gauntlet of Greatness time once again. I'm Randy Buehler, joined by Shadow Detella. Time for this week's main event. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. I don't know about you.
That's because you get to control the skull. All you want to do is skull my face. Like
I get to play the Necro deck. Necro versus Tinker, though, both of these decks are legit broken. I mean, they're not, and like, you have the standard legal version of the deck, so it's not just completely bonkers like vintage caliber version of the deck, but still, you can feel the power of those iconic cards coming through. So this is the winner's bracket match here. The way the tournament works, we've got 16 of the best standard decks of all time assembled. We're playing out a tournament to see who's gonna win, who's gonna be the best standard deck of all time. 4 groups of 4, top 2 from each group make the playoffs. The way we figure out the top 2 is the 1-0 decks will play against each other, and so the winner is just in. Then when next we come back to the group, the 2 1-1 decks will play against each other for the second playoff spot. So the winner of this match will be our first playoff deck. There you get the big graphic. And here's the Tinker list that Shadow is going to be piloting. Tinker is the trademark card. 2 and a blue, go get any artifact. And this deck is all just fast artifact mana. Metal Worker with all these artifacts makes a ton of mana also. Voltaic Key can untap either the Metal Worker or the Grim Monolith. Thran Dynamo taps for mana. The business side of the deck is not very deep. It's Phyrexian Processor is the big card. 4 copies of this, you wind up paying 7 life, 10 life. I mean, in the Finals of Worlds, famously John Finkel and Bob Maher both paid 19 life, and then their 19/19 smashed into each other for a little while until Finkel got a Voltaic Key and started making 2 per turn. Masticore can clean up creatures and potentially even attack, although, I mean, discarding a card to be able to attack with a 4/4, usually only good if you have creatures to kill. Mishra's Helix can tap their lands during their upkeep. Crumbling Sanctuary effectively gives you a life total equal to your deck size. It is a symmetrical effect, though, so you then also have to deal a lot more than 20 damage to them. Sometimes Phyrexian Colossus is all you need. Super hard to block. You can pay the 8 life, or you can use Voltaic Key to untap him. So, you know, a collection of threats. Tinker lets you go get whatever you need at the time. Tons of fast mana, explosive deck, and it does have a fair collection of counterspells in the sideboard, which may come up in this matchup, where the Necropotent side of things, this is kind of a, you know, this is a 1996 era Necro deck. So this is Necro Summer Necro. There's no combo, it's just value. It's just Hymn to Torox, Strip Mines for disruption, Hypnotic Specters is this must-kill creature. You know, 2/1 creatures for 2 is pretty efficient, and then you just refill your hand with the Necropotents. Wipe the board away with Nevinyrral's Disc, and this is a matchup where Nevi's Disc is really going to, I think, earn its keep. The ability to just blow up both the mana and whatever threat he's come up with is potentially very strong. So let's find out what happens. Let me set up a match. 2-minute clock. We're going to have 15-minute clocks just so we don't have to think about it. I appear to still be in the tournament practice room. You want me to move back to getting serious, Shadow?
It's unimportant.
I'm in the tournament practice room. I have hosted a match. Come fight me.
Come fight the #1 seeded deck in the tournament? Is that what I'm doing?
It did make the finals last year. Season 1 of the Gauntlet of Greatness, we wound up, the Memory Jar deck won. Memory Jar deck had a first turn kill in the finals. The Memory Jar deck was just absurd. It was legal for about 3 months. The only deck to ever trigger an emergency ban. Although, to be fair, it was the extended version of the deck that triggered the emergency ban, and that was all very fun. I certainly enjoyed flying to Grand Prix Vienna and abusing people with it for the 3 weeks while it was legal. All right. I will put you on mute, Shadow. We'll talk more after the game. Anyway, Memory Jar deck won the tournament, but Necro actually upset the Tolarian Academy deck and got to the finals, where it was then abused by Memory Jar. So, yeah, maybe it is the 1 seed. Certainly is the 1 seed in this group. This draw looks great, right? I have a Hymn, I have a couple Strip Mines, I have a Nevi's Disc. Sign me up. Now, I have this weird thing where, like, I can do stuff proactively, or I can just look at these 2 Strip Mines as a way to destroy him. The fact that he did nothing, you know, turn 2 for him is often a Grim Monolith turn. So I feel like Yeah. I feel like I should just see if he only drew a couple of lands, Strip Mine can often just destroy him very quickly. And also, like, I kind of want a second swamp. Like, I want to use this Dark Ritual on a Nevi's disc. So I kind of want to have a second swamp for him. I mean, I'm not going to use the second Strip Mine because right now it is my second land. And it's the card that's allowing me to go turn 2 Ritual Nevi's disc. Oh, or I could just go turn 1 Ritual Necro. So if I go Swamp, Dark Ritual, Necro, then I'm going to hit my land drops. I have no other play this turn other than strip his Rishadan Port. Then again, I could strip his, if I strip his Rishadan Port, then planning to go Swamp, Ritual, Necro, why wouldn't I just... Maybe that's better. I think stripping his Rishadan Port is better. Like, I don't think he leads with Rishadan Port. Maybe he just wants me to strip the Rishadan Port. I still get to go Swamp, Ritual, Necro next turn, and we're both at sort of the same amount of board development. Sure, Sappers and Scary is probably more important to him than that Rishadan Port was, but what are you going to do? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the Contagion is super bad. Only thing it does is kill a Metalworker, which could come up. And I don't know about the second Nevi's disc. So I think I'm going to Necro for 4, because I really want to make sure I find lands. Second Drain Life is bad. Third Drain Life is bad. We did find the land. Okay, we found 2 lands. So what am I discarding? I definitely don't want Drain Life number 3. Then I think I keep both the Swamp, so I don't have to sweat finding a land next turn. He could play a Metalworker. I might actually want this Contagion. I feel like Drain Life is just... Drain Life does so little. Is Drain Life going to kill a Metalworker? I'm going to Drain Life. This is... I shouldn't need Drain Life. Like, I'm going to wind up killing him with a bunch of Pump Knights. I'm going to Necro. I'm going to get my draw step back with the Nevi's disc. I still have 1 Drain Life. I just don't think that's important to this draw. But I definitely... It's a little scary to discard the second Drain Life there. Just doesn't feel like where this game is going. Maybe I should have discarded the second disc. Drain Life also is a black card for Contagion. So maybe if I discard the second disc, then I can keep the second Drain Life for now, and if I need to use it on Contagion, I can. Probably doesn't matter, because like if he does play a Metalworker, I'm going to be Contagioning during my own end step next turn. There's the Metalworker. So I am definitely glad I got the Contagion. This is a Hymn to Torok turn. Pretty straightforward. We got Crystal Vein and Sappers and Scary. Wow, he had a land-heavy draw. He wanted me to strip mine him. It's kind of interesting. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 cards lets me Contagion. Oh, stop on my end step. That is the important part. Stop on my own end step so that I can Contagion before I discard. Interesting. I guess it's the Consult, right? I don't really want to discard my only Drain Life. This is the Consult. What? Okay, I should have kept the second Drain Life instead of the second disc, and then I could have pitched the second Drain Life there. I'd still have a Consult. Pretty subtle difference, but I mean, whatever. This game's going great, right? We have the Skull. We have the ability to blow it up with the Necropotence. I don't have anything to do this turn, unfortunately. And I already know my play next turn. It's land Nev Disc, so I'm not going to over Necro because I'm down to single-digit life. And I may actually just need turns to get lands into play so that I can do a big drain life. Now, do I consult here? What would I consult for? Ritual, so I can play an Ivory Tower? I'm about to blow up the world with Nevi's Disc. I feel like I should consult for something. Maybe I wait and see what I need? Consult for Strip Mine? No, I already used 2 of them. I'm just not going to use it. Till we see what happens. Please, sir, may I have an Evander's Disc? Great. All right. Things are going pretty well. He's holding 5 cards, though. I guess he's just got to set a bunch of expensive stuff, and he doesn't have the mana. So I'd love to be able to attack his lands. He's got Richard Schadenport, though, so that turns off Mishra's Factory, which is kind of annoying. Interesting. I can do a big drain life here. I can also play Ivory Tower. I feel like him to Torag Ivory Tower is pretty good. I mean, if he's not going to make me blow up the disc, then I'll put Necro Tower together, right? He drew the Colossus, and he had a Thran Dynamo that he hadn't been able. He didn't want to lose the Sappers and Scary in order to play it. Also, he kind of probably wanted his port. Yeah, this feels like I play Ivory Tower. I play off a Swamp. He's got Rashadenport, so I can't attack with Mishra's Factory. Nice, Strip Mine. Maybe about time to blow up the disc. I don't know. We'll see how he plays it. Big Drain Life, Strip Mine, those all feel good. He's going to use the Sappers and Scary. Okay, now what? He's going for his Processor. Sure. He's going to pay a bunch of life, but he doesn't have the mana to activate it right now. Yeah, he doesn't have the mana to activate it, so... Again, I have this consult that I can potentially use, but I don't know what to use it on. And I don't really want to, like, accidentally blow my library away. I mean, there's something to be said for getting a Dark Ritual. I don't really want to blow my library away. It seems like I just sit on tower. I gain 3 life. I get to drain life. Yeah, I'm just going to do a big drain life here. And then Strip Mine, I guess, is port. It's not a big drain life. It's what, 5? I mean, I could go hippie Pump Knight, but I want him to commit more to the board before I blow it up with disc. Like, I want to be able to blow up the disc, then play all my creatures. So yeah, I like the drain life. And now we refill. And Ivory Tower means we're going to get this life back. Ivory Tower, Necropotence. Pretty good combo. the grand scheme of combos in the history of the world, yeah, that one's pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, I've got up-type disc. He knows I'm up a million cards. I don't blame him. I mean, I'm sitting on Necro Tower until he manages to commit more to the board, and then I just blow it up with Nevidus Disc and drop everything I've been holding. So, Necro up a game. Good times. He had enough lands that the early strip mines didn't wreck him, but the Necro still did. Wow, I mean, Contagion was actually decent that game. I definitely want the disc. And you know what? I think he may be he's sideboarding out. Like, I don't think he leaves his Mysticores in. I'm pretty sure he sides out Masticore. So all the Contagion kills is Metalworker. I like making sure I hit my land drops, so part of me is tempted by the sort of one random Mistress Factory, but he's not a land destruction deck. I have 24. Maybe I leave one random Contagion in my deck? It's between that, like, I'm not going to Icequake him. None of these other cards are relevant. It's just a question, and the fourth disc is obviously awesome. It's just a question about whether Contagions are better than, like, a random Pump Knight, or whether I want to go up a land. You know what? I think I do want to go up a land, in part because his sideboarding strategy is to bring in permission. He brings in Annuls, and he brings in Icequakes. So I do think I want the 25th land. Yeah, I don't think Contagion. I don't know. If he blows me out with Metalworker, maybe I'll reconsider. One more game, and Necro will be through to the playoffs. It seems like it's probably going to make the playoffs one way or the other. The loser of this match will have to play for it next week. I'm not going to spoil the other result in case you're watching the videos out of order, but the loser plays one more match for the playoff spot, so the 2-1 deck will advance. The 2-0 deck automatically advances. What does this draw do? This draw has a him and a consult. I think that's good enough. This draw's not great, but I think it's good enough. I mean, the Ivory Tower is nice if I go down a Necro line. So next turn I can him. What does this ritual do? This ritual doesn't do anything great right now. I mean, I could go Swamp, Ritual, Consult for him to Torok, him you, next turn him you. It's not bad. Doesn't go anywhere after that, though. Like, I have no follow-up. So, I mean, to me, I look at this Consult and I see it as a Necropotence. Like, I see this as a turn 3 Necro. Which then the question is, on turn 1, am I playing the Ivory Tower or the Necro or the Consult? I think I just play the Ivory Tower. Yeah, I think I'm going to play it this way. The Ritual can also turn into a Nevi's Disc if I get desperate. I just don't think him there is good enough. Sacrificing both Crystal Veins is his Dynamo. He is super vulnerable to Disc now. Wow, I should have left up Consult. If I could consult for a disc here, it would be awesome. And instead, it's going to take me 2 turns to consult for a disc. Although he can't activate this, so maybe that's okay. It's one way to play around strip mines. Don't have any lands. So I just go swamp Himyu. He's got 3 cards. I get to hit 2 of them. It doesn't stop him from making a processor token, but then next turn I can play Dark Ritual Consult for disc. And it looks like, I mean, if he has blue mana and a counterspell through this Hymn to Torok, then fair enough. You got me. I got the Miscalc and the Masticore. So he's 1 card left. And we can... Oh, I no longer need to stop on my end step. We can put a disc into play next turn, get hit by a 7/7 once, and then blow up the world. General's disc, which, yeah, this is Larry Nevin's disc, spelled backwards. What do we lose? 12 cards. Hippie him, 1 drain, 1 necro. Just like normal stuff. 1 strip. Shouldn't be a big deal. Alright, what land? I guess I play the Mishra's Factory. So that I can attack with it, potentially next turn. I mean, I'm tempted to play the Swamp so that I can play Necro and do a Strip Mine. I guess being able to attack with Mishra's Factories. The thing that might come up next turn. Definitely sad I didn't get to get a Necropotence with that consult, but yeah. This play seems correct, not close. Like, I've destroyed all his permanents. Literally, his board goes kaboom. It's all gone. And I want to do that before I activate Mishra's Factory. Boom! You can pull up mana. Oh, he's going to cycle his Miscalc. Okay, he had another Miscalc and he's cycling it. That makes sense. Fair game, right? He has no permanents. We might get the perfect victory. Oh, Rishadenport. No Rishadenport for you, sir. I mean, technically I could wait, but whatever. I just enjoy the aesthetic of him having actual 0 permanents. I just keep attacking, right? How much can I drain him for? 1, 2, it's a 4-point drain life right now. An island? Oh, what happened to my flawless victory? I don't even get the flawless victory unless you draw a strip mine aura. What? I can drain for 2 or attack with Mishra. Works out the same. Maybe I'm supposed to play a Hypnotic Spectre. I can't. This is just, none of this can possibly matter. Be at 1. Lose a card. And I'll kill you next turn. Brainstorm. There's no way out of this. Like, I guess tinker for Crumbling Sanctuary somehow. But, like, how's he playing the artifact to sack to the tinker, right? Scary. All about the drain life, clearly.